today. Okay, let's go on and check our weekly skills review. Today is Monday, so you should be in the Monday column. What is the sum of 2,770 and 486? Well, knowing what we know about keywords in math, we know that that word sum means we're going to add. So let's line up our numbers according to where they fall on the place value chart. And let's add them together. Always start with your ones column. 0 plus 6 is 6. 7 plus 8 is 15. 7 plus 4 is 11. Plus 1 is 12. And 2 plus 1 is 3. So the sum of 2,770 and 486 is 3,256. If I was to underline this digit and ask you what place that digit is in, you would tell me the tens place. If I asked you what the value was, you would tell me 50. Place is the tens place. The value of that digit is 50. All right, let's subtract 2,000 minus 1,345. Again, line your numbers up according to where they fall on the place value chart. If you don't, you're going to have a hard time subtracting. Okay, now this one again is subtracting across zeros, so be sure you take your time and borrow and regroup. I cannot take 5 away from nothing, so I'm going next door, nothing there, nothing at this next door neighbor, so let's borrow from the thousands place. I'll take a group of 10, this becomes a 1. If I regroup it, I add that group of 10 to my 0, and 10 plus 0 is 10. I still cannot do any subtracting yet, so let's do some more borrowing and regrouping. I now have a group of 10 I can borrow from my hundreds place. That becomes 9. Regroup it here. That becomes 10. I still cannot do this, but now I have something I can borrow from the tens place. Okay, so borrow a group of 10. That would become a 9. Regroup it to my ones place. 10 plus 0 is 10. Now I can subtract these numbers. 10 minus 5 is 5. 9 minus 4 is 5. 9 minus 3 is 6. 1 minus 1 is 0. So the answer to 2,000 minus 1,345 is 655. Maggie has 745 pieces of Halloween candy. She gives away 349 pieces. How many pieces does she have left? After evaluating my word problem and looking at the important numbers and my clue words, I know that this is a subtraction problem. I know that when I subtract, the larger number goes on top. So 745 minus 349. Again, I see that I'm going to have to borrow and regroup. I have more on the floor. So let's borrow a group of 10 from the tens place. That would become a 3. Regroup it to my ones. 10 plus 5 is 15. Okay, take it one step at a time. 15 minus 9 is 6. Now, if you notice, you have 3 and 4, so you can't take 4 away from 3. But I can go next door and borrow. This would become a 6. That group of 10 that I just borrowed, I can regroup here. 10 plus 3 is 13. Now I have something I can work with. 13 minus 4 is 9. And 6 minus 3 is 3. How many pieces does she have left? She has 396 pieces left. 23 times 3. Okay, two ways. You can do it the old-fashioned way, where you line up your numbers according to place value. 23 times 3. We know that 3 times 3 is 9. We know that 3 times 2 is 6. So 23 times 3 is 69. Or you could use a distributive property. 2 digits in this first number. That value is 20. That value is 3. And we're going to multiply both of those by 3. Find your basic fact. 2 times 3 is 6. There's your 0. So 20 times 3 is 60. 3 times 3 is 9. Distributive break apart method tells me I got to go back and add those back together. So 60 plus 9 is 69. Therefore, 23 times 3 is 69. Basic division. Think fact families. Think bill. 4 times what number is 36? What number times 4 is 36? 36 divided by 4 is something, and something, 36 divided by some other number would give me 4. So my missing number is 9. When I say think bill, you know you're drawing our bill from Gravity Falls. And we're plugging in these numbers, so that'd be 36, 4, and 9. We have to find the 9. Okay, linear equations. We got to make both sides balance. 2 times 2 equals 3 plus something. Well, if I have 2 times 2, you know that that basic fact is 4. So we have to make this side equal 4. And in order to make that side equal 4, we have to add 1 to 3 because 3 plus 1 is 4. So your missing add-in is 1. Okay? Make a picture that shows 2/5 of something. I don't care what kind of picture you draw. You can all have different answers here. I'd probably go with a fraction strip. Divided into 5 equal parts because that's what my denominator tells me. And I would shade 2 of them. So we have 2/5 shaded. How many fifths are not shaded? Well, 1, 2, 3. And if I add those back together, that would be 5/5, and 5/5 equals 1 whole. Okay, just a little bit that we've learned about fractions. I'm a quadrilateral with 2 sets of parallel equal sides and right angles. Draw me and name me. Well, both of my sides are the exact same length. These are parallel. They run side by side. They never touch. These are the exact same length. Parallel, side by side, never touch. When I put all of them together, they form right angles, straight up and down, perfect squares. This quadrilateral is a square. How many hours are equivalent or equal to 180 minutes? Well, you know that 1 hour equals 60 minutes. 2 hours equals 120. 1 times 60, 2 times 60. So 3 hours would be 3 times 60. That would have to be 180. Find those basic facts. How many hours are equivalent to 180 minutes? It would be 3 hours. Okay? Excellent practice for the milestones. Remember, our goal is to get 525 or better. I know y'all can do better. Get somebody to make you up example problems just like this every day. Keep it fresh on your mind. Okay? All right, put that up.